Hello, geniuses. My name is Markman, and I want to welcome you to a special for the record segment in remembrance of the late Nipsey Hussle, who was a father, a son, a brother, a friend, an entrepreneur, and a dope artist. On Sunday, March 31st, TMZ reported that Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed in Los Angeles while in front of the Marathon clothing store, a store which he opened back in 2017 and a store where he employed people directly from his community. He was 33. I first met Nipsey 10 years ago back in 2009 when I worked at XXL as the music editor. Since the beginning of his career, Nipsey had an unwavering vision and a clear sense of who he was as a man and an artist. With Nipsey, it was never a matter of if he'd accomplish his goals, but when. And the music was only a piece of the puzzle. In 2010, when Nipsey appeared on the XXL freshman cover, I was at that shoot. It was one of the most exciting days of my career because we saw the future of hip hop that day. First off, I knew Nipsey was different when he pulled up with the Malcolm X chain on with all the ice. And XXL staff dubbed him the most determined MC of his class, a class which included J. Cole, Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, Freddie Gibbs, Fashawn, Darnus Pill, and OJ the Juice Man. At that time, Nipsey was signed to Epic Records, and though the deal didn't work out, he never let the record deal stop his progress. He started his own label, All Money In, and continued his mission. I remember him playing me his Marathon mixtape up in Johnny Shipes' old studio. And while most artists would get derailed after a failed record deal, Nip was excited about his independence. He embraced it and consistently rapped about it like he did on this lyric from Slauson and Crenshaw. Labels used to treating rappers like a slave. Starving artists just be happy with your fame. Shit changed, now it's a different game. And all the people like myself is controlling everything. If you pay attention, you see exactly what I mean. Fuck the middleman, I said this back in 2003. And in 2013, Nipsey bet it all on himself. In the era where music sales were on the steep decline, Nip pressed up 1,000 copies of his Crenshaw mixtape and charged $100 for each CD and launched his Proud to Pay campaign. There were natural skeptics because, what type of person would spend $100 for a CD? But the $100 just wasn't for Crenshaw. Fans also got a free ticket to a show and a chance to meet and greet with Nip. And it wasn't just the fans who supported. Jay-Z himself bought 100 copies of Crenshaw on the show of support. I was working at MTV News at the time, and we covered this story extensively. I want to thank Karen Civil for helping us execute that. I remember we grabbed the video camera, went to a record store with Nipsey, and we gave him $100 to go shopping for some of his favorite music. It was a fun day, and it's something that I never forget, man. To hear Nipsey talk about being a kid and spending all of his money on Pac albums. He was a real fan, a student of the game, and he studied the greats. We shot that video in New York, so if I'm being honest, there weren't a great selection of West Coast albums. But Nip still picked up music from Jay, Nas, Mobb Deep, Raekwon, Ghostface, and of course Tupac. And every time he picked up an album, he had a memory attached to each one. A few years from now, there are going to be big artists who emerge in the game who see Nipsey Hussle the same way that he saw Jay-Z and Tupac and Snoop. You see, what Nipsey left behind was a legacy in both music and in his community. On his records, he delivered a blueprint on how to get it against all odds. And in his community, he built institutions that encourage education, financial literacy, and Black empowerment. Nipsey Hussle was undoubtedly taken away too soon. And it's a painful reality that we have to face. But what we also should do is uphold his legacy, continue his mission, and bump his music because he owned his own masters. We got to teach the next generation a better way. And with that, we'd like to send our condolences to his children, his family, his friends, and all of his fans across the world. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace.